Welcome, my friends. The word kundalini is synonymous with the word chi, ki, ji. These are all the same words. Prana, mana, kundalini. These are all synonymous with the core vital energy that we're trying to awaken in our yogic and qigong and breathing practices. The core vital energy, awakened energy, which, according to Kundalini Yoga and the yoga traditions, is dormant at the base of the spine, and we're trying to raise it up through our different practices of breathing and yoga and the whole system. Kundalini Yoga is arguably one of the most powerful yogic systems ever. And we always begin the practice of Kundalini Yoga with the Adi mantra. Adi means first or primordial. So we tune in with the Adi mantra to invoke the protection, the healing, and the wisdom of the internal guru. And the mantra is Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om is just like Om, except with an NG. It's a little more resonant and more embodied. Om is more dissolved. Om is the seed sound of the whole universe. From, you could say, a feminine point of view, kind of like it's the container, Om, whereas Ong is the creative force. Ong fills up the container, so it's a little bit more embodied. In general, you could just chant Om if you want to dissolve yourself. You could chant Om if you're interested in embodiment and manifestation. So because we're calling for a very specific frequency, and in pretty much all of Kundalini Yoga, we chant Om. Om Namo. Namo means the name. Guru Dev. Guru is, again, the internal guru. And Dev, like the word divinity, means like the highest, like the divine power. So you're calling upon like the highest teacher within. And Namo, again, the name. So Om, by the power of the whole universe. Namo, my name is Guru Dev, the highest guru within, from which all gurus of all traditions called upon, the guru within. Namo, that's my name. Now, generally we chant it all on one breath. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. But just because perhaps it's your first time, or if you're learning, you can do it in 2 breaths. So we'll do the first, we chant it 3 times. So we'll do first 2 times on 2 breaths, and then the third one, we'll do it all in 1 breath. And I always tune in by just inner smiling to my head, heart, and belly, emptying all my thoughts into my heart, emptying all my thoughts and my feelings into my belly. So when I tone, the totality of myself is toning and tuning in with the vibration. Okay? So rub your hands together a little bit, generate some friction. We call this balancing mudra or prayer pose. Your thumbs physically touching your sternum so you can feel the vibration, which really helps activate your thymus gland, which is the seat of our immune system. And just to relax, let us go ahead and take 3 belly breaths. Deep, effortless belly breath. And exhale and relax. And again, deep, effortless belly breath. And exhale and relax. And the third, deep belly breath to tune in. Om Namo. Another deep breath. Guru Dev Namo. Again. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And all in 1 breath. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. By the power of the entire universe, my name is the highest Guru within. That is my name. And that is kind of like our cosmic boarding pass. It connects us with the chain, the golden chain of all teachers, of all times, of all faiths, of all traditions, because they all called upon the Guru within. And a lot of people practice Kundalini Yoga without the Adi Mantra. That's not recommended by Yogi Bhajan, through which the practice is coming. But do as you will. But for my own practice, I do endorse the use of the Adi Mantra, and it's exceedingly powerful just by itself. You can use it alone, anytime, anywhere. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Okay? Today, I want to share with you Sat Kriya. Kriya just means completing action. So you'll hear there's endless Kriyas in yoga. And so it just means completing action. And Sat Kriya is one of the cornerstones of all of Kundalini Yoga and White Tantra. It's a whole practice completely unto itself. They say if this teaching alone was one of the only practices preserved in Kundalini Yoga, it would be a complete system. It's that powerful. It improves digestion. It improves our nervous system, making us impervious to stress. And it very much empowers our sexual organs and our sexual energy. It's really, really good for building it, and also for, once it's built and aroused, essentially raising it to higher levels, be that just higher states of pleasure or even the higher states of awakening. All is covered by Sat Kriya. And the Kriya itself is actually very, very simple. It makes use of the seed sound, probably the most core seed sound in Kundalini Yoga, if not the most, certainly one of them. Sat Nam. Sat Nam means the true sound. Sat means truth. And Nam means the name or identity. So when you chant Sat Nam, you're essentially resonating with your true identity, your true name. Okay? So the Kriya itself is very, very simple. We sit in rock pose, and if that's not comfortable, you can sit in easy pose with your legs crossed, as I just was, or even in a chair. You could put a pillow underneath here if you need to support your knees. But if comfortable, you want to sit in rock pose, okay? And we interlace our fingers. Each of the fingers represents different planets in Kundalini Yoga. This is the Jupiter finger, okay, the most benefic of all planets in astrology, so certainly a good energy to be invoking. And you put your hands up like this, and your shoulders, you kind of want to hug your ears with your arms. Okay, and that'll create a very nice acoustic echo effect as you do the chanting, and it also keeps your spine straight. So you want your spine perfectly straight, your arms perfectly straight to the best of your ability, which means to a comfortable level. And the Kriya is very, very simple. We just chant Sat Nam. As I chant Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. Notice how I pulse my belly. As you chant Sat, you pull the belly in. Sat, and you don't yell it. That's all from the navel. You just pull the navel to the spine. Sat, and then as you say Nam, you relax. Nam. Sat, Nam. Sat, Nam. And a little bit of an advanced way to do it, especially if you want to harness the core vital energy, the sexual vital power. You can also incorporate Mula Ban, which just means tightening your perineum. But as you're learning that, you may have to tighten your entire buttocks. But through time, you can just isolate your perineum. So as you chant Sat Nam, you can also tighten your perineum. You can also apply Mula Ban. But in the beginning, you might just want to focus on the navel just to get into the rhythm of it. And that's pretty much all there is to it. You keep your eyes looking up to the third eye. That's another detail, because you want the energy to rise, and the eyes direct our senses and our mind. The The senses are the outer layer of the mind, and that's about all there is to it. Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. Okay? Another detail that I find very, very helpful, it's a little bit of a visualization that you can incorporate in through time as you learn the Kriya and become effortless with it. As you chant Sat, and draw your navel to your spine, and optional Mula Bandha if you want to add that, you visualize golden white or white light chi being drawn into your entire lower cauldron, your belly center. And as you chant Nam, you visualize it rising up the spine, all the way to the brain. So it's like all this core energy, you're allowing it to rise up to the brain. So it would be Sat, golden white or white energy, rushing into the core, and Nam, it overflows up to the brain. That's just an option, you can use it. The effect of the Kriya will do that anyway. But again, bringing awareness to it, it really helps optimize it, and I find it very, very helpful. So go ahead and get in rock pose if that's comfortable. And again, you can just sit in easy pose or even on a chair, okay? And from rock pose, if it's comfortable, or any other position sitting that's comfortable for you, so you can keep your spine straight, we're going to do Sat Kriya for 1 minute, and that's the beginning complement recommended, and you slowly work your way up 1 minute at a time until you get up to 3 minutes, and all the way up to 11 minutes, to 22 minutes, all the way up to 31 minutes, and some people even go beyond. In my own personal practice, I find that 3 minutes of Sat Kriya really gets the job done, but you can experiment with longer periods of time as directed by your inner guru. But today, we're just going to do 1 minute. So, oftentimes we'll use a stopwatch in Kundalini Yoga. I have the countdown set for 1 minute. We'll do 1 minute of Sat Kriya. And you just stay in the out breath. You just focus on Sat Nam, Sat Nam. And as you relax the belly on Nam, it's an automatic belly breath that will happen. You'll see as we get into the rhythm. So, let's just see how we do. Sat Kriya. Index finger pointing up, spine straight, chin tucked in just a little bit so the spine is straight, arms hugging the ears, arms and spine as straight as possible. And here we go for 1 minute of Sat Kriya. Eyes looking up at the third eye. Sat Nam, 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 Sat Nam. Then take a deep belly breath. Gently apply root and neck lock. Tighten your perineum and tuck in your neck. Keep your belly relaxed. And exhale and relax. Another deep, effortless belly breath. Apply root and neck lock, double lock, and feel the core energy rising up your spine. Tongue to the roof of your mouth. Relax and exhale. Then have your hands in prayer pose, and as you take a deep breath, bring your hands down to covering your heart center. And we normally finish Kriyas, and pretty much all yoga, at least ideally, with corpse pose. So we can fully relax and absorb and digest the energy we called upon with the Kriya. So if you're in a position where you can do so, go ahead and lay down. A really nice way, kind of like deluxe corpse pose, is to put a rolled up towel in your low back and underneath your neck and cover yourself with a blanket. So you've got you'll notice if you do that, a really smooth flow of energy from your low back, your neck, and then the blanket warming you. But you could just as easily just even lean back in your chair if you're sitting in a chair. The idea is you want to completely relax. Completely relax and let go. It's not you are what you eat, you are what you digest. So I'm going to stay sitting up just to offer a few simple instructions, a little yoga nidra, kind of a mindful yoga sleep. Whatever position you're in, completely relax into an effortless belly breath. Relax your body, relax your belly so that as you inhale, your belly expands like a balloon, and as you exhale, it flattens. Regular belly breath. And what I find very, very helpful at the close of especially fiery type of kriyas like Sat Kriya, I find very, very helpful to do a little bit of gentle microcosmic orbiting. There's a lot of focus in yoga on raising the energy up the spine, but very, very little is mentioned on bringing it back down. And they do mention corpse and things to relax so you can, kind of get it automatically. But I find it really, really helpful because some people do overheat. Kundalini is considered one of the most powerful types of yoga and one of the most fiery. And that's really, we call Kundalini syndrome or something. It's like too much energy rising up to the head. It's helpful to have a method if you need to bring it back down. So that's why I integrate my Kundalini practice with microcosmic orbit awareness. So I'm offering it to you to use if you need it, and if you don't, it's always up to your internal guru, how you proceed with your practice. But I can only offer what I know and what I practice. So as you're laying there, effortless body, effortless belly breath. If you know the spinning ball method of the microcosmic orbit, you can use that method. If you're new to microcosmic orbit practice, simply bring your tongue pressing to the roof of your mouth. And we're just going to circulate with our breath. Effortless belly breath. We're not going to force the chi through the two main meridians in Chinese medicine. The fire meridian runs from the perineum up the spine, over the top of the head to the soft palate, and the water meridian up the front of the body to the tongue. So with the tongue touching the roof of the mouth, it's a continuous loop. And the back channel is fire, so yes, we bring the energy up the spine, but the front channel, according to Chinese medicine, is water. So up the back and down the front. So as you're relaxed into your body, relaxed into your belly breath, bring your awareness to your perineum. And from that point, take a deep, effortless belly breath. Inhale the energy up the spine. And now exhale and let the energy waterfall down the front. Just any excess that perhaps is too much for the brain, exhale. Water falls down the front, nourishing all the glands and the organs. Inhale, the energy rises up the spine, nourishing all the spinal vertebrae and all the nerves and all of the whole body that really branches out from there, all the way up to the brain. As you inhale, and then exhale, the energy waterfalls down, letting that chi waterfall down and nourish all the organs and all the glands that are situated in the front. Inhale, the energy rises up the spine. Exhale, the energy waterfalls down the front. And just continue like that for a few rounds, as directed by your inner guru. Inhaling chi up the spine, the fire channel, and exhaling down the front, the water channel. corpse pose, if you notice yourself thinking, just accept and appreciate that thought and bring it back to awareness of your breath, the sound of the breath from the beginning to the middle to the end of the sound of the breath and the space in between each breath. And in this case, the breath merged with awareness of breathing through the microcosmic orbit. So the powerful energy we called upon with Sat Kriya can circulate to all parts of the body and brain, nourishing all aspects of ourselves. A few more rounds, a few more breaths. Tell your thoughts you're taking a break. Relax, let go. Absorb the chi you called for. When you're ready, prepare to rise from corpse pose. When it's time to move on from corpse, you don't just want to jump back up. You want to tell your body, I'm about to move. And then slowly you wiggle your fingers and your toes. Perhaps you gently turn your head left and right. Just begin to rock the body a little bit and ultimately rise back up to a sitting position. They say with Sat Kriya, you want to be in corpse pose for at least as long as you did the Kriya. Some people prescribe double the amount of time. Some people prescribe a little bit less, especially if you're doing really long sets, like 11 minutes of Sat Kriya. Maybe you'd want to only do 5.5 minutes of corpse. But the reason why I'm showing you the microcosmic orbit is because, especially as people learn more and more yoga and they get enthusiastic, sometimes corpse is usually the first pose that goes out the window. They want to do more active things, which is fine. I'm even guilty of that. Excuse me. The microcosmic orbit, okay, which is Taoist yoga. They don't teach that in kundalini, but I've integrated it in my personal practice of years and years. It's the only way I can continue practicing kundalini yoga. And maybe it's because I'm a fire type. I'm fiery, I'm active, get it done. I had so much energy, especially when you start, what are we calling for? The core vital sexual energy to rise. And all of a sudden it's like overflowing in your brain. And people call kundalini syndrome. It's like too much energy in your brain. Now it is very rare. Probably won't happen, but the microcosmic orbit is the easiest way that I've found to deal with that skillfully. Yes, I want the energy to rise, but first law of physics, for every action there's an equally opposite reaction. And knowing the pathway in your body for how it goes down, I think is very, very helpful and frankly very, very safe. Okay? So that's why I recommend integrating microcosmic orbit awareness pretty much with all yogic practice. Okay? Sat Kriya. Now, when we tune out, so we tuned in with Om Namo Guru Dev Namo, we always tune out with Sat Nam, long Sat Nam. And the way we do that is we chant a long Sat and a short Nam. So they usually say 8 to 1. So if you held like 8 seconds Sat, you would do 1 second Nam. Sat, Nam. Okay? You can do it 1, 2, 3 times, as many as you like. And again, Sat Nam, just like Om Namo Guru Dev Namo, is a whole chant by itself. You can just chant Sat Nam. True sound, true sound, true sound. This is my true identity, my true identity. The true sound at the nucleus of my personal center and the universal center. If it's the true sound, it's the same sound, right? So, it's the same exact method. As far as our body mechanics, you just rub your hands together, generate a little friction. In balancing mudra, your thumbs physically touching your sternum. Inner smiling, head, heart, and belly, toning from my 3 cauldrons, so the totality of myself is vibrating with the true sound. Not just my head, not just my heart, not just my belly. 3 as 1. It's the same protocol as we tuned in. We'll take 3 belly breaths and tone on the third one. So deep, effortless belly breath. Another deep belly breath. And a third belly breath to tune out with the sound Sat Nam. By the power of the true sound at the nucleus of my personal center and the universal center, the highest embodiment of wellness and good fortune, I think, I feel, I am. And I recommend simply collecting your energy into a chi pearl in the nucleus of your effortlessly breathing belly. This way we can carry the energy we've called for and gathered with us. This is where we digest things. Always conclude your yoga practice returning your awareness into the nucleus of your effortlessly breathing belly and collect the energy into a chi pearl. Or reinforce the energy of the chi pearl that's already there. Ideally, you want to have it with you always. I don't want to be powerful sometimes. I want to be powerful always. Thank you all so much for your willingness to practice. You have my appreciation. Sat Nam.